fighting for the rights to kill their babies. Angry. That is my right to kill my baby if I want to. I don't believe in any laws for or against abortion. That should be a free will choice. But when you see a nation rise up in anger, demanding the rights to put an end. You know, last night we read from Exodus chapter 21. The death sentence were given to two groups of people. Those who kidnapped people and sold them into slavery, and those who caused a woman to abort her child. Death sentence. Read it in Exodus chapter 21. The death sentence to anyone who was guilty of causing a woman to abort her child, and those who would kidnap people and sell them into slavery. The death sentence. God did not approve of slavery. He does not approve of abortion. If you have done an abortion, he's a forgiving God. He is willing to forgive you. Come to him today. His arms is wide open. He will embrace you. But a nation cannot approve of this evil. The shedding of innocent blood. The land is soaked. I know, Brother Wills, you're getting political. Well, you know what? So was Jeremiah. So was Daniel. They supported those in power who stood for what was right. That is why Daniel supported King Nebuchadnezzar. When he stepped out of line, he did not support him. You cannot blindly support anyone. And we cannot afford to be neutral. And not in this evil age. We must support those who support the principles in God's word. When they step out of line, we step away from them. We cannot blindly support them. Jeremiah said, when Nebuchadnezzar come, Israel, he's getting political now. When you see Nebuchadnezzar come, you surrender to him. The people, the priests, the prophets were against Jeremiah the prophet. The prince hid him and supported him temporarily. But when Jeremiah said that, he said, when you see Nebuchadnezzar coming, surrender to him. Because God called him in Jeremiah 25, my servant. You support him. Surrender to him. Don't go and surrender to or form any alliance with the Egyptians. They're not doing God's will. Any Christian who form an alliance with people who are promoting things that are contrary to the principles in God's word will be judged according to the word. We cannot afford to be neutral. We must stand our ground for the principles in God's word and support those who are promoting the principles in God's word. Ellen White says, with voice and vote and pen, support those who are supporting the principle in God's word. If they're against it and they're promoting legalization of drug, in her days, in Ellen White's days, it was alcohol, and she had to stand against those politicians who was promoting alcohol. They called her a teetotaler. That's what they called them back in those days. But she had to stand against the politicians who were promoting the legalization of alcohol. She stood against them with voice and vote and pen. There are those politicians today who promote legalization of marijuana. I just read an article that is linked to cancer. But the law of the land said it's legal. Just saw a young man left California, flew to Canada, and he got to the border. He didn't fly, he actually drove up there, and he was going to cross the border. The custom officer said, you can't come in. We've detected you have something in your luggage.